just wait for those mutants to pass, because if they see you, they can very easily take you down. Okay, I think there might be an emission coming, so okay, I think I better head to a safe spot. Missions are coming, so find cover. Hopefully I'll make it in time. Oh, is that a zombie there? So we'll continue this. If that's not a zombie that I see in the distance. Hello everybody, and welcome to this Let's Play of Stalker, Call of Pripyat. This is Fine Gaming Connoisseur with you. So I'm bringing you this Let's Play because for several reasons. For a long time, I've been a big fan of Metro 2033, and when that game first came out, I really, I like the story and I like the atmosphere. So, I've watched people play it, but for me, I never really bought the game myself, because for me, Metro 2033 kind of just felt like Call of Duty or Battlefield, in that it was more of a on-rails shooter that shuttled you from one area to the next. And so for me, that game was a bit too linear and scripted, even though there are several possible endings that you could have in that game. But when I bought this game, when I saw this game and saw that it was very much kind of like Metro 2033 in its in the kind of atmosphere that it presented, and it also had the kind of freedom and player choice open world kind of setting that you found in, let's say, the Elder Scrolls or Fallout. I just felt that this might be the game that I've been looking for a long time. And so I bought this game, and I heard that this game supported mods as well, so I've been looking around for some mods, and I came across this mod called the Redux, which is a very like a overhaul, which focuses on realism and increasing the difficulty of the game. So this is it changes a lot of things in the base game, so everything is a lot more difficult, and there's a lot more realism in it. So that's why that's why I'm playing this game and using this mod, because I do like games that focus on a bit more on realism, and games that are not too easy to play. There is some difficulty involved, and so I'm running this game on maximum settings. Everything, or almost everything, has been maxed out. So I'm thinking that the game, I do think that the game looks very good on maxed settings. So without further ado, let's start a new game. And of course, when you play the Redux, you do have to be careful not to choose any of the other difficulty settings. Make sure that you only choose Redux, because otherwise it'll break the mod, so we don't want that. Okay, so the game is just loading, and when you first start the game, it does take a bit of time to load everything in, but in the long run, it'll reduce the when you load the games in during gameplay, it'll reduce the time it takes. So now we're going to watch the intro for those of you who haven't seen it.
At 0123, on April 26, 1986, the reactor of Power Block 4 of Chernobyl NPP is destroyed following a series of thermal explosions. The resulting radioactive cloud moves across the European part of the USSR, Eastern Europe, and Scandinavia, eventually reaching America. The consequences of the disaster are so serious that the government is forced to begin evacuating the residents of nearby towns and villages. A 30-kilometer exclusion zone is created to stop residents from returning to the contaminated area. Despite the disaster, the Chernobyl NPP continues to operate. The existence of a power station, as well as the fact that the area is no longer inhabited, leads the Council of Ministers of the USSR to set up a network of secret laboratories in the exclusion zone. June 11, 2006. The exclusion zone lights up with a flash of blinding light as clouds can be seen evaporating in the sky. After a moment of complete silence, a peal of thunder shakes the ground. Most of the government forces guarding the perimeter are killed instantly. 2008. Scientists are still unable to explain what happened. Rare expeditions into the zone usually end in tragedy, with survivors telling stories of mutated animals with incredible abilities roaming the area. According to various estimates, by 2010, the zone is home to between 1 and 300 unknown individuals. They call themselves stalkers and make their living by collecting anomalous formations known as artifacts, which they sell for considerable sums of money. 2011. Despite military cordons, the stalker phenomenon is growing in numbers. However, stalkers travel primarily around the zone's edges, with the center remaining terra incognita. The few attempts to penetrate deeper into the zone have all ended in failure. 2012. A stalker called S.T.A.L.K.E.R solves the secret of the brain scorcher, a man-made emitter that had blocked the way to the center of the zone for years. After the brain scorcher is disabled, all stalkers rush for the center of the zone. Some in hopes of finding a treasure trove of artifacts, others in search of the wish granter. The government decides to launch a large-scale military operation. Operation Fairway, as it came to be known, involves using maps of anomaly fields to maneuver helicopters to the CNPP. Despite meticulous preparation, the operation is a failure, and none of the helicopters return from the mission. Major Degtyarev, a USS special agent, is sent into the zone to investigate the disappearance of the helicopters. Disguised as a stalker, equipped with a regular assault rifle, 2 weeks' worth of supplies, and a radio to communicate with HQ, the Major begins his journey towards the center of the zone.
Okay, so that was the intro, and so now we're in the game. And so as you can see, the graphics look very nice for a game that's several years old. So I will cut back. I do need to adjust a few settings in the options. Okay, so with this mod installed, for those of you who have played this game before, don't expect a cakewalk. One thing that you'll notice is that you start off with randomized gear, and you start off with a lot less than if you were to just play the vanilla version of the game. So, and you also start off with a lot less rubles. That's the Russian currency. So I hope that I pronounced the name correctly, rubles. Yeah, one thing about this game is that it's there's a lot of Russian dialogue. When the NPCs are talking amongst themselves or talking to themselves. And when you meet other NPCs, it's a good idea to put away your weapon.
Hey, bro.
So they do speak English. Okay, so So I think all the NPCs' names and appearance are also randomized a bit, I think. And so the first thing you need to do is ask the Stalker, where is the nearest Stalker camp around here? And he will give you the location on your PDA. And that location is known as S.T.A.L.K.E.R. Yeah, so I do apologize, if I pronounce the names incorrectly, because I do not know Russian very well. And one other thing that you should also ask is the helicopters. And he will give you another location, and that will lead you to like abandoned oil tanker, the hull of an oil tanker. And so I'll get to that later on. But so when you first meet the Stalker, you should ask for two things. The first thing is the location of the nearest Stalker camp, and also the crashed helicopters. Okay?
I'm listening.
And one thing you'll notice is that there are no targeting reticles or crosshairs in this mod. As I mentioned earlier, this Redux is very much about realism. And the HUD also does not show you a mini map, and it doesn't show you how many rounds are left in your gun. So you do need to be wary of that, just as in real life, you do not know how many rounds are in your gun when you're in combat. Okay, so that's me there, and that's the direction that I'm facing. So S.T.A.L.K.E.R is here, so I should turn this way. Okay, just a bit over here. Okay, so I think if you see that little hull there, that's the Stalker camp. And it also, the HUD does not display, how much, how well hidden or how much sound you're making. Okay, there's some animals there. Now in this game, everything's a lot more difficult, so you do need to sneak your way. And when I was playing this mod, when I'm not recording, I found that I had to sneak pretty much, whenever I went out, I had to sneak, because otherwise I would just, the animals would hear me or see me, and then they would just kill me straight away. And of course in this game, okay, there's some gunfire. Okay, just wait for those mutants to pass, because if they see you, they can very easily take you down. So this place is known as the zone. It's pretty much irradiated, and there are regular, radioactive storms known as the emissions, and that will take place on a regular basis. Okay, so we're almost there. So thankfully the water is not irradiated, as in, if you walk through it, you won't get radiation poisoning. Alright, so we're not too far, but let's just sneak the rest of the way. We need to get there first, because that's our safe zone. So let's just get there first. Okay. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to just try and pick up some supplies, some stuff to sell, because as you know we only have 100 rubles. Okay, so in this game, you know, you do need to scavenge for supplies and things to sell to keep yourself so that you have enough rubles to buy food, because there is a hunger system in this game. So one way you can do that is by going out into the wilderness and listen out for any gunfire, and basically follow the direction of the gunfire, which will more often than not lead you to other stalkers. And you know, sometimes they will engage in firefights with other mutants or bandits, and when they kill things, when they kill like a bandit, then you know, you can loot the bodies and then go back to, let's say, S.T.A.L.K.E.R and sell the loot. Oh, that's a mutant, I think. Yeah, it's a mutated person. So in one of the tips for this game, you know, it does say that the zone has a life of its own. There's another mutant. So quite often when you're out in the open, you'll find things happening. So in that sense, I think this game feels a lot more alive. And so it's not a static game. You know, there are things happening, regardless of whether you're around or not. So okay, so they didn't kill anything that has loot, and none of them got killed. You know, if they were to get killed by the mutants, then you can loot their bodies. But on this occasion, there isn't any loot to be had. Oh, there's some more gunfire, so let's just go there. And you know, in this game you cannot run non-stop. You know, if you try to run for long periods of time, you actually run out of breath, and then you'll tire yourself out. So I hope these guys are friendly. Okay, so someone just died. So one thing about, you know, looting is that, you know, you have to be quick, because if you're not quick enough, then other guys, you know, these other stalkers will grab it before you do. So it looks like these guys have got the loot before I got here.
Достало нам в натуре уже все. Понты еще эти фраерские. Мы типа сталкеры, мы крутые.
Okay, so it seems like, you know, these stalkers have built settlements, shelters around the zone. So this is probably where they're staying. Okay. So it looks like I've come a bit too late. They've already taken the loot. So maybe I'll just head back to S.T.A.L.K.E.R and just try and sell what I've got.
Ай, чё б за бодяжить, жрать охота, писец.
Okay, I think there might be an emission coming, so... Okay. I think I better head to a safe spot. Okay. Emissions are coming, so... Find cover. Hopefully I'll make it in time, because the emissions in the Redux mod will kill me and will turn any persons who are, you know, not in cover, turn them into zombies. So let's make it quick.
Come on, man, put that weapon away.
Listen up.
Hello.
Sultan wants to see you.
Okay, so this is the hull of the abandoned world tanker, and
Well, good luck to you.
when an emission happens you need to find cover, otherwise you'll die. So these guys doing the same thing, they're finding cover. So let's just stay here and wait it out. It will take some time. And I'm not going out because, you know, yeah, so as you can see. So yeah, like I mentioned, emissions are basically radioactive storms that will periodically, you know, occur in the zone. And it looks like a pretty fearsome storm, so not a good idea to go out. And there's some more stalkers coming in. So it does seem like there is quite an advanced, you know, artificial intelligence built into this game, or at least that's how it appears to be. You know, there is kind of like a, you know, every NPC sort of like has a, you know, knows what they're doing, and they will respond to environmental conditions. In this case, they're coming to find cover from the emissions. Okay. Okay, so it looks like the emissions storm has finished. So I'm going to go out now to scavenge for any supplies from dead stalkers. and look for zombies to kill, because I think there would have been some stalkers who have been turned into zombies. So, you know, we'll continue this in the next... Oh, is that a zombie there? So we'll continue this. If that's not a zombie that I see in the distance. Yeah, that's definitely a zombie. Okay, so that was a zombie as well. Okay, so let's just get back to S.T.A.L.K.E.R. So you can pretty much tell whether something is a zombie or not because of the way they walk. You know, zombies sort of have that sort of shambling gait, you know, posture. So, okay. So that guy's not a zombie, and neither of these guys. So, okay. So I'm just going to go back to S.T.A.L.K.E.R. and we'll continue this in the next episode. So thank you for joining me today in this... Is that a zombie? No. Okay. So thank you for joining me today, and if you enjoyed this video, please do like, and if you have any questions or comments, please leave it in the section below. Please do subscribe to my channel, and also please share this video. So thank you for watching. This is Fine Gaming Connoisseur, and I will see you next time. Take care.
Hey, Stalker, how are you?